Hello, World of Tank Blizzards. It's Littlefinger, and update 6.9 just came out. It's March 26th, and I just want to do a quick summary. Do this primarily for myself so that I can remember all of the upgrades, whether they be good or bad from Wargaming. And that's one of the consistent things about these guys is they are constantly upgrading, and I think overall it has been good. Outside of those of you that have been with me from the early days with all of my lower tier tank reviews, update 5.5 just pretty much squashed all of those, but we won't harp on that now. Update 6.9 features obviously these Japanese tank destroyers, and what I was interested here to see was that these are pretty heavily armored tanks, and I would say in general, of all of the tanks that Wargaming's put out lately, they've all been overcooked. By that meaning they're a little on the OP side, and they'll probably dial them back a little bit. I'm seeing some really big numbers out of the Ho-Ri, and I'll play a game here just in a second that was sent in by a sub who runs the game pretty much on one hit point most of the battle. But I do want to talk about the 6.9. Obviously, we've got the new tank destroyers. Obviously, this legendary camo is super cool for the samurai with the face on the side. The boosters got new look, and then the VK lost a little bit of pen. The T23E3 got horsepower increase, and the Yak Panther received a little bit of a nerf there to the lower glacius plate, I believe. But the big thing, if you guys are tier 10 players, you'll know that the tier 10 heavy tanks received huge buffs, anywhere from 5 to 24% increase in hit points. This is going to allow you to obviously stay in the game longer. I guess Wargaming saw that heavy tanks weren't being utilized enough, and or weren't doing the same amount of damage as the other tech tree tanks, mediums, lights, TDs, what have you. So power creep tier 10 is primarily dominated with a lot of big guns. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But some big numbers here. Interesting to see the FE215B only got 100. Even the Chieftain, a premium tank, got buffed up there. IS4, look at these big old numbers, almost 500 increase to their hit point pool. So I really think that is going to be interesting. And obviously, upcoming will be a review on the Cheeto SPG, and we'll keep grinding up because gotta have every tank in the game, right, guys? So with that, let's turn it over to this review. Alright guys, here is help. I'm a bug in the Ho-Ri Samurai. And I'm going to speed this up just a little bit because it does take a little while for this game to get into the action, so to speak. But you get a feel for 33 kilometers per hour moving on into the middle of the map here. And while this is all unfolding, want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, hey, please hit that subscribe button. We are pushing on up to 10K. That's my goal for the year, and hopefully we can do that before the end of the year. And obviously, only those of you that aren't subscribed can help me out with that. Those of you that are, I really appreciate you. And now that all my internet issues hopefully have been fixed, one full day without getting dropped. We had techs out here, 2 of them in bucket trucks replacing equipment outside, so I'm hoping they fix the issue for good. Obviously there's a lot of strain on the internet from everyone working from home, kids tele-schooling, parents teleworking. It is a different world out there right now with this quarantine from coronavirus. But anyway, you can see here the game is going to start getting a little bit more interesting. Now I'm seeing people play this tank quite aggressively already. Not sure if that's because the armor is that great or because, people just aren't familiar with it. But it does get around pretty good there. You see he was up to 45 kilometers per hour. going downhill though, and he sees this VK, and I think he thinks better of it. It's like, maybe I shouldn't try that. So the VK is coming on down to him, and he's going to try to make a run for it when the Object 140 jumps in front of him. Here we go. Here's the first shot. 525 in damage. 10.5 second reload time. You know, it's going to do some serious damage if you're on target. 2 shots to take out that already damaged Object 140. Now he gets real lucky here. Shot goes flying by. And they're going to do a little circle around the rocks here, and he's going to try to get away. So all of that cautiousness out the wind to begin with. Shot on the move. Here comes the big shot from behind from the VK. And I was just wondering, where you think you're going? He turned too late to get a shot on the Object. 268. He's got a VK that's probably pushing him behind, and now he's getting shot from his behind. So pushed into a really bad situation. But look at this. Boom. There goes the 268. Problem 1 finished. The Mountain here is behind him. He's just shot. Look at that. He's on 1 hit point. Look at this. Guy's going to overturn. Finish him off. 546. That damage is a really nice number in my opinion, guys. You know, it's not the little piddly 200 to 300 that you get some of those medium tanks, and it's not a whopping 800 that you get on some of the really big TDs, but with a nice reload and, you know, 500 damage per shot, I think this is going to be an overpowered tank for a while. I think this is going to follow in the trend of Wargaming overcooking their new tanks. So my suggestion, guys, is get in there, grind it before the next update, because I think the stats are going to tell them that this tank needs it needs a nerf. And look at this. What end out the game with even more luck. He's got 1 hit point. The guy just needs to throw HE anywhere close to him. He could hit the ground in front of him and he would get the kill. But he bounces. And there you go. 4,378 in damage. This was on day 1, so that was a mastery, 5 kills. My guess is that number's already gone up. But yeah, so nice game there by Help I'm a Bug. Hope you enjoy the 6.9 update, and expect some Japanese TD reviews coming out shortly. And with that, guys, have fun out there, stay safe, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.